Oop. Sorry. Okay, we'll do it that way. You've probably seen this before, but this is the vision statement for Rotary International. And I'm so impressed that they came up with such a wonderful way to lead this organization forward. Uh, First of all, together, we need to do it together. People, we can't do any of this without people. And then creating lasting change. Part of the part that I like the most best is the change in our communities, but also in ourselves. We're in Rotary uh, because we personally can grow as individuals. And I know my personal experiences ever since I've been in Rotary, it has changed my life in many, many positive ways. So together, people create change. It's just an excellent vision statement for Rotary and will help us move forward. Diversity, equity, inclusion is uh, key topic these days, and Rotary is taking a very aggressive stance in coming out with this particular statement about how Rotary is organized. Our own district, we have a DEI task force that's been meeting monthly to talk about how we can make Rotary in Hawaii available to more and more people so they feel that it is diverse and inclusive. And we need to think about it each of our club levels. How are we open and inviting the guests that might come to our meetings, or do we have groups of cliques of old timers with their inside jokes that might exclude new folks from coming in? So we need to talk about at a club level uh, how to make sure that we're open to new members and find ways to bring new members in as we kind of come out of the Zoom world and get back into a human contact world. What's that going to look like? And how are we going to have hybrid opportunities to include as many people as possible in to have a Rotary experience?
Uh-oh.
We all are Rotarians, but we're Rotarian in our individual Rotary club. Our club is the key. The clubs across the world are the key, most important component of Rotary. We're a member, a Rotarian in a Rotary club. Rotary International is an association of all the 37,000 clubs that are across the world. And so we're not members of Rotary International. We are members of our individual Rotary club. And Rotary International's sole purpose is to bring these clubs together and support them in with programs and common direction across the globe. Currently in Hawaii, we have 1,500 members. I like to say 53 communities across the state. We have 53 clubs in the state, but that's 53 communities that we are currently serving in Hawaii. The Rotary Foundation is the nonprofit arm of Rotary, and that is a permanent endowment for fundraising and humanitarian activities. So it's important to remember that we're Rotarian in our Rotary Club. Each year there's an international theme. Holger Connect this year is our Rotary International president, and you've seen his theme, Rotary Opens Opportunities. He's a strong believer in opening doors and making sure that Rotary is inclusive in everything that we do. Next year's theme with our president Shaker is going to be serve to change lives, and you probably have seen that logo as it's beginning to roll out now. We basically have 7 primary causes that Rotary International supports and works on. The Rotary Foundation funds these 7 causes. They're general enough to find just about anything you want to do in your community, that can plug into one of these causes. There's peace centers around the world where students can go for graduate degrees in conflict resolution. The medical part, disease prevention in third world countries, providing water in primarily third world countries. Our district has been involved in a number of projects that is associated with providing water. Family health, education, economic development, to find out ways for people to grow economically and to start small businesses. And then the newest cause that Rotary is promoting now is the environment. And that was approved by the International Board kind of recently. The Rotary Foundation was started in 1917. Arch Club had a dream of doing good in the world. And this is really the nonprofit portion of Rotary. That's where all the funds can go and be distributed as a 501c3. So the foundation helps our clubs provide service around the world. The foundation is respected internationally as a solid nonprofit that manages funds well, that has a transparent funding process, has a reporting process that shows results as to how the money was spent. And that's the Charity Navigator 4-star rating that Rotary has received a number of years in a row now. It's interesting that just in the past year, Rotary funded over $20 million in grants to help fight the COVID pandemic. And even locally, we received monies through the Rotary Foundation for pandemic support efforts. And then our own district helped fund significant amounts of monies locally in projects, plus a lot of work in individual clubs. As you know, the emphasis with Rotary is to eradicate polio around the world. It's now only found in 2 different countries in the world. Africa was recently found to be polio free, which it takes 3 years after the last polio case to certify a country as polio free. And now the entire continent of Africa is polio free. So we're just working on Pakistan and Afghanistan. Huge monies have been spent through Rotary. And as we get closer and closer to fully eradicating polio, it will be one of the huge humanitarian services that has ever been, and we should be very, very proud of that. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation have been huge supporters, and they've been matching monies that Rotarians have raised for the last few years. This was happening locally as a result of money that we give through our local clubs to the Rotary Foundation. There's a procedure that the money comes back that we can support our local and global funds through our own individual clubs. This current year, the Rotary Foundation made available just over $200,000 for Hawaii clubs to spend pretty much as we decide. Our own clubs have contributed over $100,000. So it's about $310,000 this Rotary year that have funded, we call them district grants. And so your clubs have all written district grants for this year and start preparing for next year. A simple process. They're matching funds. That's the Rotary Foundation funds that are matching. Your club puts in $500,000, and the Rotary Foundation with a matching system will put in that same amount to support your local grant. And it could be anything from youth service to supporting the RILA projects, to your dictionary projects, to painting picnic tables in the parks, to helping senior citizen centers, whatever all the good work that your clubs are already doing out in the community. Going into our next year, our year goes July 1 to June 30th. So on July 1st, we'll begin another funding process through our local clubs. And we have matching funds for the next year of $184,000 and our own clubs will put in a little over $100,000. So this coming year, we have about $290,000 of impact in our local community, and also global grants that we have decided to work on through our clubs. The Rotary Foundation is critically important as a funding source, and our support of the Rotary Foundation is important to get these funds to come back. All of our donations to the Rotary Foundation, in a sense, come back to us to spend as matching grants. It's a unique funding process, and that's one reason the Charity Navigator is so impressed with the work that Rotary does. As far as our individual clubs go, every club has a president, officers, and board of directors elected annually. Your officers and directors, a lot of them are on these training sessions right now, will take office on July 1st of 2021 and then serve through June 30, 2022. As part of the training process, president is elected or selected a full additional year in advance. And so we already have over half of our clubs that have their president selected for 2022 to 2023. And so they have a full year to get ready for their service as a club president. It's a unique opportunity to serve on our individual club boards and to give your own personal input into how your club operates. Generally, our clubs have these avenues of service. There would be separate community organizations for club services, really the internal operations of the club, everything from communication to membership to your program speakers that might be coming to your meetings. Community service is the easy one. That's what we do to serve our community locally, and the district grant funds, how those would be spent in our community. And we know that people join Rotary because they want to give service, and local community service is what attracts people into Rotary. So the more we do out in the community, the more people want to become part of our organization. Vocational is the business side. Professional relationships, we all have a classification, so it's a variety of businesses that are represented in each of our clubs. And that's some of the diversity, equity, and inclusion, is we want to have as many different kinds of folks as we possibly can in our clubs. International service is everything from helping fund global grants through the Rotary Foundation, or actually participating in international service. Our district is working on a trip to Nepal to work on some medical facilities that's going to be happening this fall as an international service, an international trip. Youth service is things like the Rotary Leadership Awards, your scholarship programs. Many of our clubs have interact clubs, and so that would be providing service organization within our local high schools, or there's even a few that are down to the middle schools. So club is where the activity is in Rotary. And remember that as a Rotarian, we're a member of our individual club. So together we do a lot. And we'd like to share now. Kelly, I'm going to stop sharing. And Kelly's going to share and talk about some of the resources that might be available.
Naomi, can you enable my screen share? There we go. All right. Just jump in real quick. Mark and I will make this presentation deck available to you. So rather than kind of give, what I want to do is give just some exemplar kind of touch points this morning, and then do a little bit of a live demo so we can kind of get a little hands-on and do a little touching and feeling and have some of the experience with some of these resources. Knowing that there is volumes and volumes of material out there. So, I just want to thank our district governor, Naomi, for this opportunity, and thank Mark. Today's presentation and opportunity really is a full circle opportunity for me as a Rotarian that I think highlights many of the things Mark already highlighted. I moved to Hawaii for work in 2017, and Rotary, I connected with first when I got here, of course, to my job, but it was like a couple months later when I kind of got my feet in, settled down, found the Rotary Club of Diamond Head Kaimuki that I joined and have been involved with ever since. Rotary has allowed me to make an impact locally in my community, make an impact in my state, as well as internationally, participating with Mark and 23 other Rotarians in 2019 in our international trip to Bali. My club was one of the clubs in a 5-way partnership with received some monies as part of that COVID relief monies, given by Rotary International. So we partnered with a number of 5 area clubs with the Adult Mental Health Division's clubhouse program that works with the severe and persistent mentally ill adults, in our state. So it's a really great opportunity. And again, I think much like some of the resources we'll highlight here in a moment, the training and resources that are available, including this recording, have helped me as a club president, have helped me grow as a Rotarian, and are archived to be a tool so that you don't have to, as a club leader or as a Rotarian, consistently reinvent the wheel for yourself. A lot of work has been done in the past 2 years, to create copious amounts of resources and training materials archived to make you successful. So I want to jump over to a quick hands-on, change this screen, and go take a look right now at the district site for a starter. So, sorry, this is, move my, there we go. So you should see the District 5000 site now in front of you. So I want to highlight a couple of areas for everybody that are really germane to what we're doing here today. So the first thing is the training library. And like every good library, the district has books. So to help make your search for resources and materials even easier, the training library is organized topically where you can see, various content that has been curated here for your assistance. So, for president-elects, for club trainers, I just want to open up the membership book again, just as an exemplar to give you a little teaser, and kind of see the depth and material that's been prepared for you. There's a presentation link up here that I would encourage folks to share, a pretty motivational talk by Dr. Kent Keith, who presented to our district leadership cohort on servant leadership. Let me just go into the membership book really quick. So again, what the approach the district has taken, is to make, the most relevant resources available as kind of a one-stop shop. You can Google things, you can find and borrow other things from the internet, but when the district has put all this material here, I would highly encourage you everybody on this call, to share this material with your club, with your board. There's resources. For example, this links directly to open the PDF for the Rotary Health Checklist. Oops, it should be of note. Oh, there we go. Rotary International is doing maintenance on the Rotary website as we speak. So our connection to the RI website might be a little hinky this morning. But here's a great tool that I have utilized with my club, and was part of our district leadership academy kind of training as well. But as an excellent tool and resource prepared by RI, you can find this PDF on the Rotary International site if you get in a few layers into the Learning Center. But here it is as the first item. for, again, doing some basic foundational building work in your club. So again, I give a lot of thanks to Naomi and to Benson Medina for the work they've done to help build up this training resource page and material for us. So that's the first thing. So I'm going to go back to the Rotary, to the district homepage. So that's the training resource library. And there's some selected pages, pulled off to the side that are excellent, that I would, draw your attention to. Move that up a little bit. And so the District 5000 webinar recordings is another key resource I would draw your attention to, because again, rather than you having to reinvent the wheel, there is the opportunity for it to utilize material that has already been prepared and present. So you can see, just as you go down, as I'm just going to scroll down this list briefly, you can see how long, Naomi was getting the district involved with Zoom before we all had to go to Zoom due to the pandemic. So we have been working on putting together trainings that have been deployed across the district, accessible to more people, and now archived here on a YouTube channel for the district. And you can see how exhaustive the topic list is. So, I would certainly encourage folks to review these topics as you think about, standing up a new board, doing particular Rotary moments in your club to engage. And, this is the best part. You've already got a catalog of guest speakers and content prepared and curated for you. And you don't have to watch, obviously, the entire training, but, the nuggets that are embedded in there for particular topics that may be of interest and need to your club, I would really, really encourage folks, to go to this website and resource. But when you jump, again, I'm going to pull back to the district homepage. I think one of the things I've enjoyed as a Rotarian since coming to Hawaii, particularly, we haven't traveled back to the mainland very often in the 5 years I've been here, but we have traveled extensively to our neighbor islands. And I utilize, this directory of clubs to see, when we're doing face-to-face, to find me a club meeting that I could partner on to my vacation. And so again, it helped connect me to more people with Rotary here in Hawaii, and gave me opportunities to grow and develop my experience and relationships here. So, I can say for the first time in almost 14 months, my club is going to have a face-to-face meeting on Tuesday. So we're going to, all of my club has been vaccinated. We are all out, outside of our post 2-week vaccination. So we're going to get together at Honolulu Beer Works on Tuesday for a pauhana, to celebrate, tier 3 opening and support a local business that's been supportive of our club in the past. So again, I think the other nice thing that the district does is foreground the district calendar here on the homepage. If this isn't something that you have bookmarked on your computer's web browser, please do so, because you'll see, upcoming topics related to training, cross-functional groups like the Young Professionals Networking Group, and our Rotarians at Work Day coming up on April 24th, and the Global Peace Forum in May. So, many topics will flow through the calendar that, again, I think will be relevant and material to how you engage your club. So, we could spend 3 hours just navigating the district site, but I think as you look at the different links, these are some of the most important and the things that will be your routine go-to. So while I'm here, I'll stop this share real quick. And I want to go over, we'll see if the RI page is working. Looks like it's up for the moment. Let's see what happens when I go live. So my.rotary.org is another website that I've got bookmarked here on my computer that is my go-to, and something that I would encourage everybody, again, to bookmark, because it's going to be something that's I think, a frequent site for me to check as club president, but also as an individual Rotarian looking to grow, learn, and expand my opportunities. You know, when you log in, I love how Rotary has redone this website. So as you go down to my account, my profile, one of the most important things we can do as Rotarians is keep our information. Now, I think the site may be still undergoing maintenance. Keep our profile current. So anytime you change your primary email that you want to use for Rotary, as long as it's current in here, information will be able to get to you, you know, through blast channels, through Club Runner, and through some of the other Rotary International, as well as district communication. So highly encourage folks to make sure that your members know to keep their information, you know, updated in there. You know, and again, as you know, your profile, everyone's profile will be different, but you'll get, you know, some of this information. So all of your content information, all of your contacts, phone numbers, roles within Rotary can be updated there. You know, tracking your donations is also important. You know, where tax season is upon us. If you haven't received any receipts you need from Rotary for your annualized donations, or want to see how many Paul Harris points, for example, you have that are available to be gifted to others within our Rotary community or within your club, this My Donations tab will, you know, produces an up-to-date report in real time, pretty much, of where your donations are, your Paul Harris points, and that and those level of recognition points that you have available to gift. The other resource that's, again, in their top area of navigation, I want to just look at two areas in that really quickly, but the learning and reference area. And this is why I keep it bookmarked on my homepage. When I go to the Learning Center, you know, Rotary and the Rotary International and District 5000 have very similar approaches to putting the aggregated material together in a very user-friendly way and having volumes and volumes of it available for you. So I think, you know, what is valuable about the my.rotary.org login is, first, your profile, you keep your information up to date, you know, brand information. So any of our RI templates and digital resources, whether it be logos or, you know, outlines for brochures or you know, web banners or backgrounds that you want to use, you can get those off the brand center. You know, tracking your donations, thirdly, and then this fourth area in terms of the Learning Center. So again, here, organized by topic, are, you know, a number of resource areas that you can immediately drill into to get official Rotary training content. So again, there's way more material than we could possibly cover here. Just as you look, there's, you know, basically curriculum that has been built, and you can see, you know, 7 courses plus the structured learning plan around these various topics. So I think for folks that are, you know, coming into a board for the first time, there's some great material you can extract and point them to. For folks that are, you know, looking to transition, you know, within the club and grow the type of service they're doing, again, the resources there, and particularly as we're starting to reopen and we'll have opportunities to extend our contact with Interact and Rotaract, some of the important, and there are youth sessions today that folks are participating in. But again, our youth protection program and the priorities that Rotary places on the protection of our youth, our youngest Rotarians. So, you know, those are the things I just wanted to highlight briefly, because I've put the links and highlighted them in the deck that we will circulate after today. So I just wanted to highlight just at a very quick level some of those basic things that I think are just, you know, a cascade of information and a wealth of resource. So with that, I will stop, and Mark, I think, has a quick closing slide.
Perfect. What we really wanted to share today was where to find resources. We didn't want to bombard you with too much information, but to let you know, especially for newer members, that the resources are available and you can hunt and go to these 15 to 30 minute sessions either through our district website or through the Rotary International. That's pretty much what we had. We wanted to leave time for folks to ask any questions. So if you want to unmute or raise your hand, we'll try to respond as best we can. Anything at all? Got a lot of black screens there anyway, so we're missing a bunch of smiling faces. Thank you for those that turn your camera on. Anything? We just want to make sure that you know how to get, yes?
So I wanted to go back to, I had not found or stumbled across what Kelly had talked about in terms of those past webinars that District 5000 put together. So is that from the training library, and then you go to those little book things? Like
on the homepage, Tony, there's a link. I can just jump back to that page real quick. There's a link that just says district recordings. So it's found in a couple different places, but right here, district webinar recordings, number 4 on the quick link side. That's
okay.
where that long list of resources came from. So
Okay, yeah, I was looking in the wrong place. Thank you.
Yep.
Tony, if you go to the training library, these recordings are grouped by topic also. So you can find that on that.
Yeah, I'm on that page. But let me go to the home page and oh, come on. There, got it. That's going to be very helpful.
All right, we'll call that a win.
Yes. Worth the price of admission today.
There you go.
I have a question.
Sure. Hi, Kurt.
Hi. As far as the structure of Rotary, you said that each of us are members of our own club, and then there's a statewide umbrella organization. But I just wondered, how does it work from an international level to a national level to a state level to a community level? How is that structured?
The club is the most important, no question. And then groups of clubs, like all our 53 Hawaii clubs, are organized as districts. And then multiple districts are organized in zones. So the zone we are in is San Francisco down to LA and all the way across to Texas is a zone. And then there's 30 something zones in the international organization. And there's volunteer leadership at all those different levels. And so Rotary International is basically volunteers. There's a professional staff of about 600 people that run the Rotary Foundation and Rotary itself, but all the leadership positions are volunteers. All the zone positions are volunteers. The zone's function is to help districts. District function is to help individual clubs. So to have a successful club is the best thing you can do in Rotary.
Well, I think, Kurt, the great thing for me coming into my club, and this is true of the way District 5000 is organized, is, with our assistant governors being geographically located, that's part of how we keep the connection between the state, building onto the club, so that we have, routine contact with an assistant governor, someone who's, kind of organizing our hui. And we met both in person and have done virtual meetings with our hui to, cross-pollinate to make it, to support each other's fundraising, to support each other's service projects, to celebrate the personal successes. But that district, that assistant governor helps keep the communication coming to us from the district leadership, which flows the information from Rotary International downwards. So I think, we have a great mechanism to keep the communication both cascading downward as well as moving upward, to keep the lines of communication open and keep the possibilities and opportunities for work and collaboration together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Another quick question, or we will begin to wrap this up. We know you're got some more trainings coming up. I want to thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much for jumping in and saying you'd help with this. I am very grateful and appreciate that, buddy. And thanks for your time this afternoon, or this morning, I guess. Thank you for your time this morning. Any other quick questions?
Thank you very much.
All right, folks. Thank you. Thank you so much. Naomi, back to you.
Okay, thanks, guys. But we're going to start our secretary training in 5 minutes. So you guys can take a break, or it's open mic now. You can sing, you can ask some questions, you can talk with each other.